Nice.
Good.
All right. Well, welcome to the Sola San Diego podcast, episode number 22. I know we said last one was 22, but this one's really 22. Just wanted to
We
clarify
know how
that.
to
So we were
count.
The
never,
real, the
we were,
real 22.
we're the real 22 right here. And we have some special guests today on the podcast. We have Noah and Anjuli from Hair to Stay. And we'll just jump right into it. And we got Austin too. We got Haley. What's going on, guys? First
Hi.
one
Hey.
via Zoom, first podcast via Zoom that's like with a guest. I think the last one we did was just with me and
Nice.
Haley. We were just solo or duoing it.
Testing it out.
Yeah, right. Testing out the whole
Yeah.
recording here.
Yeah.
But let's jump into it. Noah, you want to start off? What is Hair to Stay? It's good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having us. So Here to Stay, we are a nonprofit. We're the only national nonprofit that's dedicated to increasing access to scalp cooling. And so what scalp cooling is, so when somebody's going through chemotherapy for cancer, the most devastating side effect is hair loss. And so scalp cooling is a treatment that's actually done while the patient's in the infusion center doing chemotherapy. They wear this really cold cap. It reduces the temperature of their scalp by about 30 degrees, and that basically mitigates hair loss that's caused by chemo by slowing down the rate of the cells in the scalp and then also constricting the blood vessels in hair follicle, allowing less chemo in. And we have patients who save almost all of their hair, and in some cases there's some hair loss or some shedding, but it's dramatically reduced. And unfortunately, scalp cooling is not covered by most insurance, and it's very expensive. And so in 2016, we started Hair to Stay to help make this treatment affordable. And so we write checks to patients so that they can afford scalp cooling. The subsidies are up to $1,000 out of our national fund. And since we started in 2016, we've awarded a little over 5,700 subsidies to patients.
Wow.
In all 50 states.
That's so awesome. When did you guys start? Like when did it originate?
So scalp cooling's been around in Europe for like 30 years. And there's two different options. I forgot to mention this. There's an automated system and a manual system. And so the manual system has been in the United States for some time now. And in that case, you basically use a cold cap that's kept on dry ice. You have about 6 of them, and you switch them out every 30 minutes because your scalp will actually warm up the cap. So you have to keep switching it out during chemo. In 2010, our co-founder Bethany helped get the funding to do an FDA trial to bring the automated system to the United States. And so it's about a 5-year process. So at the end of 2015, the automated scalp cooling system was FDA cleared in the United States. And Bethany, being part of that clinical trial, was seeing that there's going to be people in infusion centers that can afford to save their hair and some that can't. And she felt partially responsible for this, sort of inequity in cancer treatment. And so in early 2016, she co-founded Hair to Stay with her partner, Patsy, who's since retired. So yeah, since 2016, right when it came to the United States.
So it's still like fairly new, but that's awesome that it came to the United States from Europe. What is your tie to the organization?
So shortly after 2016, I met Bethany. It was like early 2017,
Okay.
and she was looking for some help with like grant writing and fundraising. And I had been working in nonprofits my whole life, and in one conversation with her, I was just floored because back then nobody even knew that this was an option. And so, you go your entire life experiencing people going through cancer, and they lose their hair inevitably. If you're
Yeah.
doing chemo, you're going to lose your hair. And to hear that this was an option and nobody knew about it, I was like, I have to be involved. I've had
Yeah.
people in my family deal with cancer, and it just it just was like, not only that, but Bethany's passion toward this mission, it drew me in. And so I've been, yeah, since 2017 I've been on the team.
That's incredible stuff. I mean, you guys are doing awesome work. It's truly like just inspiring stuff, just because like we're in the hair industry, and if you could preserve your hair while going through chemo, that's just like super powerful. So that's just awesome.
It's just
um
just such a sign to the outside world that you're going through hell, right? And it's just such an
Yeah.
emotional thing. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen on Instagram where barbers, shaving somebody's head, and then they, put shave their own head to show
Those get
support.
me.
But yeah,
Yeah.
those always
get
get me.
really
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
that right now. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
if there's a way to avoid that, and we have a good friend, she was about 40, went through some gnarly breast cancer and losing her hair. And then we, some friends chipped in to get her, basically her hair is just starting to grow out long enough to get extensions. And, we chipped in to get her this, full head of extensions, and that was just so emotional and, confidence boosting that she was coming out of it. And if you can avoid that whole part of it, man, it's just such a mental, emotional boost to yourself, So it's pretty impressive what
Absolutely.
you guys are doing. One question too: how many people are on the Hair to Stay team?
So you're looking at half the team. So it's
Cool. Yeah.
Bethany, our co-founder, myself, Daria, who's been with us since I think 2018, 2019, and then Anjuli, who joined us most recently. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
that's a
the
good
four of us.
that's a yeah, nice tight knit team. That's a good
Mhm.
segue to Anjali. Tell us a little about yourself and your story. I know you're a breast cancer survivor.
Mhm.
So that's amazing. You were a stylist, correct? And then
Yeah, still am a
um,
stylist.
still a stylist.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
great. And then you've used scalp cooling before. So tell us a little about your experience and how it impacted you in your life.
Yeah, so basically, my mother actually was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 3 years old. She ended up going through chemotherapy twice, losing her hair both times. And the second time, she was in a rare percentage of people that actually lost her hair permanently. And we had a very strong relationship with our hairstylist at the time. And so our hairstylist would like take her into the back room and still like shave her peach fuzz and things like that. So that's why I became a hairstylist, basically, just like that bond. So that being said, I mean, my mom did pass away when I was 13, unfortunately. But over the years, I've Googled like, can you still permanently lose your hair from chemo and things like that? So like scalp cooling has always, I've known about it in like the background. Um, but I knew not like much about it at all. Like Noah said, it kind of more recently came over to the US. So I got my breast cancer diagnosis when I was 28. I was managing a salon here in Philly and working behind the chair. So I kind of immediately knew that I was going to pursue scalp cooling. And I learned a lot more just through my own research of how you have to treat your hair during the process. So you have to be very gentle with your hair. You can't wash it more than once a week. It has to be in cold water. Like you can't style it really, brush it, which, you just have to be very gentle with it. So I was like, oh, cool. Like I can just get my hair salon or hair washed at the salon. One of the girls can do it for me. And then I was like, wait, like I could do that for other people so that they don't have to stand in the freezing cold shower and like wash their hair. So while I was simultaneously going through chemo, I started fundraising for Hair to Stay at my salon, but I just kind of like Googled them and found them. And I was like, cool, like I'll give funds here. And then luckily I have such a great support system that I did receive quite a few donations. And Bethany, the co-founder, did see that, and she just called up the salon. Like I hadn't linked my story or anything. And she was like, who are you? Like, why are you doing this? And I was like, told her my whole story. She told me her whole incredible story. And then it just so happened that she was going to be in Philadelphia that next weekend for her son's wedding. So all the way from California in Philly, like the week after I choose to do all of this. So she came into the salon. I did her and her daughter's hair for the rehearsal dinner. We just like kept a very good rapport and relationship. So then fast forward, they flew me out to San Francisco in October. And like Noah said, I was a recipient of the Young Thrivers Award, which is what we focused on this year because more and more of our recipients are under the age of 40. The number of patients being diagnosed at a young age is growing massively. And
Wow.
not to say it's not important for everyone to keep their hair, but, you know, we're a little more centered on our looks and things when we're a little bit younger. And it's kind of very important to maintain your identity. And so, yeah, I was out there. And then shortly after that, they asked me to join the team to kind of head up salon partnerships, given that I have the experience as a stylist, a subsidy recipient. Oh, that was the other thing. I hadn't even applied for the subsidy. I was just fundraising and whatever, because it was just, I don't know, I just didn't. And then it just so happened that Sydney Berry, the lovely Sydney Berry, who works very closely with us, had just created a targeted fund for hair care professionals under 40 going through cancer and doing scalp cooling. So I ended up being the first recipient of that subsidy. And then, yeah, everything just kind of fell into place from there. And now I'm on the team. So
yeah, look at you. Look at
awesome.
you. Talk about like when you were doing scalp cooling, like what was that process like? Like how did it feel on your head? Like, I don't know, just like it seems like so interesting to me, like that it's over dry ice and everything. And just like when they put it on, it just, I don't know, it just seems like a very powerful, like impactful and emotional like process.
Yeah. So luckily, I was at Penn and they have the automated machines. So it was a little less work intensive for me. But basically the process for my chemo was that you have to put the cap. So even before you start your infusion, you have to put the cap on and pre-cool for a half hour so that you can get the follicles to a cool enough temperature once you start the infusion. Then you wear it for the duration of your whole treatment. And then you have to post cool for an hour and a half too, to make sure nothing gets up there while you're, you know, still letting it run through your body. Unfortunately for me, and this is another thing where along with the awareness and the funding, unfortunately, there is like very little knowledge about it depending on where you go. And my cap didn't fit properly. So I ended up losing a lot of the hair on the top of my head after my first treatment. So I ended up shaving. I did shave my head, but I continued to wear the cap. Which still helped my follicles to kind of restrict the amount of chemo that was getting to them. So normally after chemo, there's like a lull of like about 3 months where you're not able to grow your hair back. But my hair continued to grow during treatment and after treatment. So I didn't really have that lull. So I would still recommend it, even if you do decide, like, that's the thing, you can still shave your head and still do cool capping. Like, you don't have to, like, you know, you're not boxed in. But yeah, it was very cold. It was not very comfortable.
Is it like a big brain freeze?
Yeah, so you wear like a silicone, like it almost looks like the like shape of like a brain kind of. That goes on first, and then you have another cap on top of you. So you just kind of feel like you're wearing like kind of like a football helmet, I guess, and it's like strapped under your chin. And then there's a cord coming out of the back of it, and you're like attached to this machine. So for me, it didn't bother me that much. Like by the end, you're like, all right, I want this thing off my head. But like I did okay with it. So Yeah.
I mean, you're a warrior, you're a survivor. We commend you at Sola San
Thank
Diego,
you.
and you're just awesome. Your story is great.
100%.
Thank you.
Definitely.
And
Yeah,
just giving back, going through that and then wanting to give back, is I think so important in life. You go through hell and then you make it a good thing.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, as
so,
corny as it is,
to
I
say to
feel
you.
like it was like, with everything it's been in my life since I was a child. Hair's been an important part of my life. Like I kind of felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be for how it happened. And now I found like something that has furthered my career and I've met amazing people. So it kind of just all, like I said, fell into place. So makes it
meant to happen.
Yeah.
Something really good came out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Going into kind of our charitable efforts, we do have a community of over 750 beauty professionals, and we do give back at the Ronald McDonald House. We have people that donate their time. So just wanted to shout out our community for being so like giving in terms of donating their time to the Ronald McDonald House. And I think that what we're about to talk about next really aligns with what Sola San Diego and our community has done in the past. And so Noah, let's jump into more of the details about the Hair to Stay partnership that we're doing. And we're doing a competition through the month of June. Super exciting. It's to win a happy hour. So hopefully the people that are listening are like, let's go. And everyone always shows up for the happy hour. So we always love to give away a nice community happy hour for someone, for some, salon that wins this. And we're going to pin all you guys against each other. All 20 locations are going to be against each other, duking it out. And we're going to do, so Noah, right? We set up a page that you can donate, and you can tell your clients, you can tell your friends about this page to donate to Hair to Stay.
Yeah, so we'll have a general Sola San Diego fundraising page, which will keep a running total of what's raised across all 20 locations. And then each location will have their own fundraising page with a unique link. We can create QR codes and stuff that can be shared. And that link, you can put it up on social, send it through text, email. And, when you share this, ask your guests, family, whoever to do a little tribute to you so that we know that, that donation came in through your efforts. And
for sure. And then we're setting the goal per location at $1,000. And the personal goal that you can set for yourself is $100 we would recommend. And the Sola San Diego crew and our community, or our, from Sola San Diego side, we're going to do a donation, correct, Austin? And to kick everything off.
Awesome.
And we'll spread out that donation throughout all of the locations. So it's like even. We'll do an even number, divisible by 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, we want to kick it off by doing a donation. We'll I'll let you know what that amount will be, and then we'll get it going with that. Very beginning of June.
Thank you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so we want to kick it off by putting our money where our mouth is. That's important. But so Andrew, how does now I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, I work in a small salon. How am I going to compete with a salon that's got 40 more studios than we have? So how are we going to make it fair for the, we do it on a per studio basis, how much is raised? And then the other question I have is, some people might say, hey, I'm not comfortable asking my friends and family and clients, but I would love to donate $50 or whatever. So can this link be used for the beauty pros to donate themselves, or to have their clients, friends, family donate to their salon's page as well? So does that can kind of do it both ways?
Yeah, I would say all the above, right, Noah? Like we can just send that link to everyone, and they can push it out, right? From their end, push it out to their friends and family and clients to help get to their personal goal of $100. And then eventually that'll get to, $1,000 is the hope. $20,000 for hair to stay would be amazing. I mean, doing the math, right? Like $1,000 per location, $20,000 to hair to stay is just like super powerful. We get how many scalp coolings is that, by the way? How many treatments?
So the way you can sort of think about it is that $1,000, we write checks for up to 1,000 to a patient, one of our recipients. So you sort of think about it in terms of like each location would basically be sponsoring a patient's treatment. And
that's amazing.
That impact, is especially, we have so many of our recipients that are, moms, have young children at home, still in the workforce. There's social, so the impact that this has in transforming that cancer treatment journey goes so far beyond that individual. We hear from people all the time that, they didn't want to traumatize their kids, having them see them with no hair. And so, it's just it's a huge impact that it has. So, but yeah, you can think about it in terms like that, like each location would be sponsoring a patient's treatment.
I do like that you
$1,000 gets so $1,000 will get that one patient that the therapy they need. Great.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And going back to your other question, Austin, yes, we're going to the total amount raised per salon will be divided by the number of chairs at each location, so that it is an even playing field when we tally up that amount. So Poway has like 20 or 25 studios, right, Austin? And then they're going up against Mission Valley East that has like 60 studios. So the potential in, making that fair would be like balancing it, like each chair, would give that, the certain amount.
How much? How much is raised on a per chair basis? They take that amount, and divide it by. So we'll make sure it's fair and even for everybody. So
definitely
smaller locations don't feel like they have an uphill battle to beat the bigger ones. So
right, exactly.
Looking forward to a happy hour.
They're still in the running for a happy hour.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I assume we'll hype this up on social media and everything to kind of break out the details.
Yep, we'll kick it off on social media. I'll write up, a graphic that we can do and push on social media and Instagram stories, Instagram post. And then this podcast would be awesome. And then shooting out a text to all of our professionals, letting them know that we're doing this throughout the whole month of June. So the winner will be decided on July 1st. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're going to raise a bunch of money for Hair to Stay and to help people that are going through these chemo treatments. And I just think it'll be awesome. And it'll speak to, like how we can help these people.
I do want to mention one thing too, is I know we hadn't talked about this yet, but Noah and I have known each other for about 6-7 years. Chris and I have known Noah for quite some time, and we lost touch kind of leading up to COVID, and COVID hit and the world got crazy. So I'm really excited we're reconnecting. We did this, fundraising, and it was probably 6 years ago, and I forget what was raised or how we did it or whatever, because it was anything before COVID was a little blurry.
Yeah, felt like ages ago.
Pre-COVID,
like a lifetime. I know it's like another life. But so I'm excited to be reconnected with you and your crew and get this going again. So we appreciate it.
Likewise. Yeah, I'm really excited to work with you guys again, and I know that you guys have such a strong, generous community. And I think the first time around, I went to, I think you had 12 locations at the time, and I went to each of them and sat in the break room and talked to everybody. We weren't as sophisticated yet with Zoom, and
look at us now. We're growing.
But the reception that I got from everyone there was just incredible. Everybody took the time to hear about what we were doing, and everybody asked how they could help. And so we're honored and proud to be a part of this and partnering with you guys. So we appreciate everything.
Definitely. And Noah is local. Noah is local in where are you located? Point Loma, correct?
I'm in Point Loma, yeah.
Perfect. So we'll see you at the happy hour, whoever wins.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice,
Sweet.
perfect.
And then just to kind of wrap up, guys, people can learn more about Hair to Stay on hairtostay.org, correct? It's very simple.
Correct.
Anything else,
Yeah.
any other places that they can look for you guys on social media, on anything like that?
Yeah, I think our main social is our Instagram, which is Cooler Heads Prevail.
Nice.
So I don't know if you can like link that in the show notes or whatever on the podcast
For sure.
to make it easier.
Can. Yeah.
But yeah, and then, you know, also just to let everyone know that if they have a client of theirs or family member or friend or anyone that they interact with that wants to learn more, they can send them over to our website, and there's a button at the top that says apply for a subsidy. All the information is there on, you know, how they're eligible for funding, and then they can just apply online. And we get back to people within 24 hours on a decision.
That's great.
Because unfortunately, people usually will find out that they're going to do chemo about 2 to 3 days before they start chemo. And so you have a very short window of time to plan to get your scalp cooling set up and then find out if you're going to be funded through our subsidy program. So we're very quick in getting back to people because
that's great.
Time is of the essence.
Time is of, yep. Exactly. Well, perfect. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Anjuli, for sharing your story coming on here. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys again.
Thank you. Nice to meet you both.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Bye.